cat. I'm a kitty cat. And it dance, and it dance. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Read Book Reviews. Today's video is going to be my May TBR. So I'm calling it a TBR, but it's more like a current reads with a few books that I may or may not get into afterwards, because I am in the middle of 5 books, and I have never been in the middle of that many books. That's not including any manga. I'm only saying novels that I'm reading. However, my problem is I feel a reading slump coming on. When I feel like one is coming on, I will read the beginnings of a lot of books and see if any catch me, and at the moment I'm interested in a few but have not yet been entangled by their awesome plots yet. So let me just show you the 5 books I'm reading right now. Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. This is the next book that everyone's reading for the year of Cosmere, and this is one of his fantasy standalones. I am enjoying it so far. I have barely scratched the surface of this book, so I can't give any definite opinions. I am literally only a little bit past chapter 4. It's like barely anything. 42 pages. The next one I'm reading is The Warded Man by Peter V. Brett. This is book 1 in the Demon Cycle, I believe it's called, and the 4th book just came out not too long ago, and so I decided to go ahead and pick this up. I've been hearing fantastic things about it. When I picked up the physical book, it wasn't catching my attention, but I downloaded the audiobook and have been listening to it, and it's way more interesting through audiobook. Only about 3 chapters in, page 63. Book 3 is Finnegan of the Rock by Melina Marchetta. This is another, it's a fantasy standalone YA, but there are companion novels to it, but it ends, like this concludes, but as far as I know. However, there are other books in the world. I think they're just through the view of other characters, as far as I know. I don't know. But anyways, I hear nothing but fantastic things. I am halfway through this book. I'm enjoying it. I'm not gonna say that it's like blowing my mind right now, but it is an enjoyable read. It's doing like a laid back readathon, read along, whatever it is for this next book, and I just purchased it, so this is kind of a sneak peek into my next book haul. Storm Dancer by Jay Kristoff. This is book 1 in the Lotus War, and I am also about halfway through this book. The problem I'm having with this particular book is the words, if that makes sense. I absolutely love that this uses Japanese mythology and has a lot of Japanese terms as far as like names. It uses Japanese names for everything, but that's also a downside to it, is that it uses Japanese names for everything, and sometimes it just, the book assumes the audience knows what that is. And I do feel like since I'm into Japanese culture and know a little bit more than maybe somebody who isn't, it's not that bothersome to me, but I could see how it could be bothersome to somebody who isn't informed in Japanese terminology and Japanese words and Japanese phrases. There is a glossary in the back, so if you do get confused with a word and you want to look it up, it's in the back of the book. But I feel like, and I had this same problem with the book Ink by, I can't remember her name, but it was another YA fantasy where the girl lived in Japan, so it used a lot of Japanese terminology, and again she had a glossary in the back. So I feel when you're overusing terms where you need glossaries in the back, it might be a little bit too much. But I don't know, there are some books that there's glossaries in the back that I really appreciate, like the Mistborn trilogy has glossaries in the back, but I don't know. This last one is a book that I was reading last month and never got around to completing it because other books distracted me, and I'm pretty sure I have to start this book all over again, but I do want to get into it. I think it wasn't something I was wanting to read at the time, so it was confusing me and I completely forgot everything about it. And that is The Thousand Names by Django Wexler. This is book 1 in the Shadow Campaign series, and I still have my bookmark from where I left off. It's like a third of the way through the book right now, but again, I've completely forgotten what this story is about and what happened, and I wasn't that invested in the book, so I definitely should start this over again, and I will. So this has been in a TBR before, and I never got around to reading it. I've put it in 2 TBRs so far, but because I'm reading Storm Dancer, it really makes me want to read this. Dragon Sword and Windchild by Noriko Ogiwara. This is book 1 in the Tales of Magatama duology, and I will read this month. I want to. And then the last and final novel before we get into the manga that I'll be reading this month is Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. This is book 1 in the Gentleman's Bastard series. What really got me wanting to put this in my TBR is that it was in my list of top 5 books that I should have started yesterday, and Adriana has Storm Dancer on that list, and that's why she's doing this read along. I figured it might be a good idea to also put a book from my listing on there as well. I'm excited. I've heard nothing but fantastic things, and so yes. Now to get into the manga that I am currently reading and will be reading. The first one is I am in the middle of the Skypiea arc for One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, and I am on volume 26, so I've only read, the Skypiea arc started on volume 24, so I've only read 2 other volumes besides this one, and I'm really enjoying the Skypiea arc so far. We are slowly collecting a larger cast of characters. Obviously, the most enjoyable part about this story are all the wonderful characters. I'm excited to continue on with this arc. For the BookTube Manga Club, we decided to concentrate on one mangaka instead of an actual manga. So we chose a mangaka, and then that gives everybody the choice to read whatever they want that's by that person. So you don't have to read all the same thing if you don't want to. So the mangaka that everyone chose was Yu Watase, and I only own 1 works of hers, and that is Arata the Legend. I'm actually really excited to start this one because this is her debut and only shonen series. Yu Watase is very well known for her fantasy shoujo. Probably her most famous was her first one, and that was Fushigi Yugi, which I watched when I was a child on VHS tapes, and it was amazing. My taste in manga has obviously changed, and I probably wouldn't like it as much, but I do want to try this, and this is her newer series and is ongoing, so I want to check it out. And also there's an anime adaptation for this that's on Crunchyroll, and I started watching it and am really enjoying it so far. And the last manga I'm so excited to read because I have been meaning to read this ever since I picked it up. Vinland Saga Volume 1 by Makoto Yukimura, and I've been meaning to read this forever, but only recently have I been getting into the show Vikings on the History Channel. Has it made me really want to pick up this book, like obsessively want to pick up this book. I'm sure it's nothing like the TV show, obviously, but it's still cool to see how they portray Vikings in mangas. There are a few other manga and novels that I do plan on reading this month, but I didn't want to mention them at this point in time because I have hauls to film. We have my manga haul sitting right there, which there is a couple manga on there that I want to read this month, and then sitting right here next to me is a giant pile of novels. So I will be filming probably both of those today, so you'll see me in this same exact outfit. And that's it for this video. As always, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!